This is Jonathan Agger, fifth Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Michael Mckinson. Michael, you said before your fight in Nigeria that you'd come back on, call a load of people out, so thought I'd get you
Who do,
back on.
who do you want me to call out? What 147's out there do you reckon will fight me?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? So
Yeah, but
before
yeah,
we actually
so
go on,
where should we start? Should we start from my week in Nigeria?
yeah, start there. Tell us how it went. You obviously got
um,
got a fight at last.
I finally got a fight. I travelled to Nigeria 4 weeks ago. I was taking on a guy that was 8-0 with 7 knockouts, a 21-year-old kid. Um, got there, met him. Really, he was really respectful, gave me like a really limp handshake when I met him, and was speaking in broken English, but really respectful. Then we got to the press conference. He was speaking well, nothing but respect it seemed. And then we had the face off, and he put the head in a little bit and was working himself up. And obviously he had pre-planned that to not feel intimidated and stuff, which like whatever floats his boat. And then the next morning at the weigh-in, he pulled out. I made the contracted weight of 150 pounds, which any welterweight would tell you if they're fighting in a non-title fight, they're not going to fight at 147. So we had it contracted at 150. I made 150. He was just inside the 147 limit, so they started moaning, and they obviously didn't read the contract. We got both of the contracts out, and it says in black and white on his contract 150. So then they started trying to make some ridiculous demands of trying to put a rehydration clause in after the weigh-in. They tried to make me go lose a kilo, and I'm like, no, I've done what I've had to do. Anyway, they left us in limbo. This was the day before the weigh-in. Ruined the day really, acting like spoiled brats, and then it they didn't want the fight. They kind of ruined their chance really. This was their big chance on a good platform on DAZN, and they kind of talked themselves out of it. And then a big fair play to Amir Khan Promotions. Jay from Amir Khan Promotions, he said, "Don't worry, Michael. We've got you a local lad, no problem." So the morning of the fight, I still didn't know if I was definitely fighting. It seemed a bit like bizarre. Even when we got to the venue, my opponent didn't arrive until about 45 minutes before the fight, and he didn't even weigh in. It was it was so bizarre, and obviously in there you could feel he was a lot heavier than me, but he had 4 wins, 4 losses, so we just got it done. And yeah, happy to get back with a win, nonetheless.
You must have been thinking it's Ortiz, like the first fight all over again when it got had
Oh,
to get rescheduled and all that.
that's exactly, yeah, well remembered. Exactly. So like, I feel like I handled it well because I've been in situations like it before. I think if I could handle that week in LA, I can handle anything. So I was very professional about it. Didn't let anything get to me, and it worked out. Would rather have fought a better level opponent, but on 24 hours notice, the guy I fought done brilliant. He really came for it. He was game. There was a little bit of ring rust there from me, as expected. Got caught with probably more than usual. But as the rounds went on, you can kind of see I was getting a little bit more confident, and it started to flow a little bit better. But yeah, it was a crazy week.
Has the phone been ringing, or is everyone trying to avoid you?
Do you know what? We the Zuffa card in Bournemouth, we got called straight away saying, "Oh, would you fight at 154?" I won't mention any names just now. I said definitely. It's a guy that I've sparred in the past many times, and then a few days later they said, "Actually, no, they've gone a different route." So my name was floating about straight away, and then I see last week Dave Allen put a story out saying he would love to see me in against his guy that he manages, Joe Hayden. They both retweeted and stuff in a very, very respectful way, and nothing but respect, because at least they're mentioning me. You know what I mean? So who knows? Maybe that's something that we can get going. I know he's got a fight next month, but in a few months' time, maybe that's something we could get. But listen, I'm here. I'm back in the welterweight division, and I'm ready for anyone. I am. I need these fights. I'm 32 now. Get me back in the mix. Like, with the change of opponent last month, it didn't do my ranking any good. I think they rank me 10th or 11th in Britain at the moment, but the reality is I should be a lot higher than that. So yeah, I'm here for it all. I'm here for it all.
So last time I spoke, I threw out a few names at you. Alexis Rocha, who you should have fought years ago.
Yeah,
Brian Norman Jr.
yeah.
There's also Tiger Johnson, who's highly ranked.
I'm
Any
not
of
sure
those
who that
guys?
is.
He's
I'm not
a
sure
top.
that.
He's unbeaten top ranked fighter.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, but he's ranked. Any of those names appeal to you?
Take me back to the States. I would love to go over there. Like, Alexis Rocha, I've always spoke really highly of him, because him and his team are, when we had, like, when I met him, and him and his team were brilliant people. When I fought in LA, a member of his team sent me out a Lakers jersey when I got back to the UK. So good people. And then he was supposed to go in camp the beginning of last January to fight David Papeau, the French guy. They invited me over as a sparring partner. I had my bags packed. I had parking booked at Heathrow, and I woke up the morning of travel, and I had a message. He'd been injured. He'd had to pull out from the fight, so I didn't end up going. But 100% go and fight Roger. Oh, I'd love to. Brian Norman, I'd love to. Who's the other guy? Tiger.
Tiger Johnson.
Of course. If the zeros are there, book my flight. But I don't want to wait about. I don't want to wait about. I've been a pro a long time. I'm experienced. I don't need warm up fights. I've had my warm up fight. So let's get going.
And are there any other names that scream out to you? I mean, obviously domestically, there's Harlan Eubank, who's got a fight scheduled, but he'll be available at some point. Conor Walker.
Hey, Harlem Eubank, he's fighting David Papeau. That's the guy from France. I went over last year to spar him for his fight with Liam Parrow. David Papeau, they looked after me over there, but I'd fight Harlem. Who else are you saying?
Conor Walker. You've got.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? Conor Walker, if you was to ask me last year, I weren't a fan of Conor Walker, because my name's been mentioned to him a few times, and he's kind of downplayed me and been a little bit kind of not disrespectful, but ain't spoken me highly at all. So but you can't deny his run that he's had and his performances. You know, when it looks like it's not going great for him, he pulls something out. So yeah, fair play to Conor Walker. Don't get me wrong, I think I'll box his ears off. But who's going to give me that chance?
And if you've been told maybe like get back on a Amir Khan promotion show at some point, or maybe a Zuffa card, they've got one in Dublin coming up.
There's been no promises as of yet. I'm sure Amir Khan Promotions, Balmoral Promotions, they'd probably have me back. But my name's floating around again, which is good. Like, I've been mentioned, although it hasn't been a lot. I've been mentioned. With Dave Allen put me on this, he didn't need to mention me last week. So I see it as a positive, and for obviously all last year was a write off, and I was so negative about things, and I was down and not been able to get fights. But this is probably the most positive I felt in a long time. Now that I've boxed again, now that I'm being mentioned again, so it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
So you'd
Keep
be up.
myself healthy. Keep myself healthy. Keep myself in the gym. Then who knows what's around the corner.
So you'd be up for that Joe Hayden fight if it was offered for you.
Sure, if it's on the right platform, I know that he has some on bigger platforms and some on like the small hall steel and stuff. But if it's on the right platform and it was for something, then it makes sense, doesn't it? And I'm easy to deal with. I'm easy to deal with. So get in touch.
Cool. Michael, just one more to ask you. Jaron Ennis against Xander Zayas. You've been in the ring with Ennis before. You actually went out to Philadelphia to get some work in with him.
And listen, I never got invited. We went and said we want to spar boots.
So
You
what
know,
happened? You got to the gym and you said to Bosie, "I'm from the
I think
UK."
so. I think my dad might have been in touch beforehand, and they were like, "Yes, please." I don't think many people queue up to be sparring partners of Boots, and you kind of in there, you kind of get a feel why, and you hear stories, and you kind of believe the stories that he kind of like does nasty things to his sparring partners. But we went there. We earned respect the hard way. We went into Bosie's dungeon. We were doing 4 minute rounds, kind of 20-second break. It weren't even a break at all. It was tough. It was very tough. And not only the long rounds and hardly any break, I was in there with the most, at the time, the best and most talented 147 in the world. He was huge as well. I remember him being so big, thinking, how is he making 147? So even when he's moved up, and I think now that he's moved up to 154, he looks like a whole better fighter. You know, yeah, I reckon he does a real good job on Xander Zayas. I really do believe that.
Do you think he's going to stop Zayas?
I think so. I think at some point in the fight, Zayas is a very good fighter in himself, of course, but I just think Boots is kind of that level above.
What did you take from sparring Ennis for your own game?
You know what? It was a few weeks out from the Mbenge fight, and for that camp, I actually left Philadelphia with the flu, and then I had to kind of had like 10 days to try and get rid of it before fight. I should have really, if I'm honest, I should have pulled out of the Mbenge fight, but then in the back of my head, I was thinking they're not going to reschedule it, so try and do my best to get over this. And obviously it didn't work out. But yeah, being over there, I think what I took of it is the valuable experience of that. Well, you can't get any higher level than the rounds I was getting, and being in the gym with all world class fighters, like training alongside people like Stephen Fulton, he was in there, Bryant Jennings was in there. So like you're only gonna rub off and kind of, it's only gonna benefit you being in an environment like that. And the rounds were incredible. They were incredible. So I left there a whole different fighter. You have to earn respect the hard way. In a place like that, no one respects you until you get in there and spar. You earn it, and yeah, it was such a valuable experience that I've gained.
What was his most impressive attribute? Power, speed, skills.
Every shot of every second was danger zone. You get that danger zone. You had to really be like on your A game at all times, and then you don't get any break to be able to recover. So it's only going to make you better, make you stronger mentally as well. I'm pretty lucky. I've been in the ring with Virgil Ortiz, and I've been in the ring with Boots. Don't know how many people's obviously shared the ring with both, and I think Boots is probably the more talented fighter in terms of skill set and what he can do. I think Virgil Ortiz has probably got the better resume. Well, no, he's definitely got a better resume. The wins over Madrimov and Borchek are better than any win that Boots has had. But I always get the question, like, who would I say? And both teams are really nice people, being good to me. And I went to spar one and I went to fight the other, so I can't really give my opinion. It'd probably look better if they fought and Ortiz won, because I actually fought Ortiz. but yeah, I'm just glad to have experienced rounds with them both.
Is it hard to say who punches harder, given I assume you didn't spar Ennis in 10 ounces and
Yeah, but do you know what? I sparred Ennis and he was probably 2 stone heavier than me. So it's
yeah.
really hard to kind of gauge, like, when I went to fight Ortiz, I was mentally so ready for anything. I'd never tasted defeat, so mentally I was so there. I was physically in unbelievable shape, you know. So and like shot, you know how like big of a puncher Ortiz was. His shots were bouncing off my chin, and I was fine. Really was, like, and he hit that hard, and my hip. He just ruined the ligaments on my hip, and I was kind of so defenseless after that. Um, but yeah, I don't really know who hits harder. They're both world class fighters, at the top of their game.
Cool. Well, Mikey, appreciate your time. Messages, anyone can get it as always, and yeah, follow him up.
Who would you, in the ideal world, who would you like Michael Mckinson to fight?
I think a couple names would be good. Kavalauskas, I think, would be a good fight.
Is he still, because he won the European title last year, didn't he?
He fought Crawford, didn't he? Fought Crawford.
Yeah, and then he beat Samuel Molina, the Spanish guy, for the European in Lithuania. Listen, that fight's always there.
Yeah, and
if you can get me that fight, great. if you want that fight, go get it for me.
Yeah, we'll do our best. Mikey, appreciate the time. Mikey the Problem on Instagram. And yeah, hopefully see you back in the ring next couple of months.
Brilliant, mate. Thank you very much.